Good morning, guys. I am Joe Bates, and I'm reviewing every day of the Edinburgh Fringe whilst I'm here. I'm here for the full run, doing my show Journeys of the Mind in the Megabus. It's at 1 p.m. every day at the Golf Tavern. Please come, please come. We have had suspiciously okay numbers for the last couple of days, but nothing about it makes sense. We can't explain why that is. So if it's going to drop off anytime soon, and we're going to be massively confused. So to avoid that, just come along yourself wherever you are. So as I've just to explain the conceit for the 10th time in a row, bigging up my own show, criticising other people's shows to stop people going to them and coming to ours instead. And actually, for the first time this week, this 2 day, there's a new feature which you'll see about in a sec, which I might only do once depending on how it goes, but we'll see. So as days, the last 2 days were days 12 and 13, it's becoming massively routine now. The sort of dizzying highs and the sort of absolutely looking into the void lows are just becoming part of my daily routine and becoming a bit dull. So you'll see here, I normally, this is, don't look too closely because you'll see how the sort of insides of my mind. But this is for the last one, the last video that I did. These are the notes, and these are the notes for the last 2 days. And not only is there much less of them, obviously they're much less detailed. They go less far into towards the side of the page. And these ones just read Heidi Regan, very new comedian, piss, and stand up. And that will be clear what all those things mean very soon. So just to explain that, Heidi Regan, I went to see Heidi Regan last night, and my favourite show so far. Really, really enjoyed it. Completely full room. You don't need to go and see it. Go and see her outside of the festival when she'll probably get more. I mean, the tickets were pretty cheap, so the tickets will be more expensive then. So you're giving her more money, and she deserves it. She's a very creative comedian. The very new comedian reference on my notes is an experience I had. So the shows have been going quite well. I've been growing into myself quite well, and I feel like we're getting, when things go wrong, I don't see this as a fundamental flaw in my personality. I see it as a fundamental flaw in the audiences. So that's better. But the one down point was I went to do a show. I did my own show. And then went out to meet someone, had a couple of drinks, and then was extremely tired. It was an extremely tiring day. I felt a bit ill from all the terrible rain, which I talked about in detail in the last episode, and that meant that I was on when I'm tired and when I'm a bit ill, I get quite nervous. My natural inclination is towards nerves because I do not have this private school entitlement that every single other person at this festival has. And I did a small spot at a show we didn't have many people at all, but with a little bit more of a high profile night. And I thought it went okay. I was getting some okay laughs. I did think my material wasn't getting, I did judge the audience for not giving me as much laughs as it deserved. But I did come across a bit nervy. And then the organiser of the night, who's a much more established comedian, just said, "Oh, don't worry, you were fine. You're just a very new comedian. You know, you just seem very nervous." And I didn't say this, but I've been doing it for 2 years, so that stung, and I thought about that for about 6 hours, and it was already 10 o'clock by that point. So you can imagine what that means. That's an exaggeration, but you do think about these things quite a lot. No one who is as good as me at this sounds boastful, but no one who is as excellent as me at stand-up comedy should be nervous. So I blame the class system. So that's just something that affects me. The piss. So the shows have all been going well, and in fact, this show that I'm about to describe went well. But so again, like I talked about in the last episode, how I want to increase the viewership of this, and I was going to start using some sort of uncomfortable personal anecdotes for it, that involve bodily fluids, just to get people more interested. And this is all true. This happened. So. I was rushing around. I'd flyed for my show yesterday. The show before was fine. Nothing really happened. But my sister and my cousin were coming to visit yesterday, and we surprisingly had an audience. Again, we were completely surprised. We weren't expecting it. But the problem was that I was rushing around, so I went to the toilet very quickly. And all the lads will know, all the lads will know this, and maybe the girls as well. Maybe girls piss themselves. I don't know. But what happened was I went to the urinal, but because I was in a rush, I didn't spend as long at the urinal as I should, and sometimes you get like a sort of second wave of piss, I guess. Sometimes that comes out slightly after the initial barrage. But this is normally fine because you've got time to let it all out, so to speak. Well, literally let it all out. But I didn't this time, so I withdrew from the urinal too quickly, and when I looked down, well, I felt it. I looked down. I've got light blue trousers on. You'll see them in a sec, and there was a large black stain on these trousers. So that was annoying. It looked terrible, and the people were already down there. We were going on stage in like 3 minutes, but so what I had, and the problem was that my sister and my cousin were already there. So it's fine if they went there. I might have went down with piss on my trousers, but because it might have incorporated into the act. Like I talk a lot about. Sorry, my words aren't coming out very well today because I'm thinking about this terrible moment. So I talk about how bleak my life is a lot, and I think that would have added to it if it had just come down with a load of piss on my trousers. But if I did that in front of my sister and my cousin, they might have rung my mum, like saying, "I think Joe's having a difficult time. Do you want to come get him?" And Luke Chilton won't mind me saying this, but because it's online actually, you can find this. He actually did the exact same thing at a night called Up the Creek, a gong show. And he came out with visible piss on his trousers, but because that's a really studenty audience, and they were just and he made it part of the act. He won that gong show, a gong show where you get gonged off if the audience don't like you. He won the all night, and so he embraced the piss. Whereas I think this was like 10 people, maybe 12 people in a very intimate room at 1 p.m. in a sort of lovely, almost gastro pub in Edinburgh. I just thought if I'd embraced the piss, hey guys, I've got piss in my trousers, anyone else been there? The women also piss themselves and that sort of thing. I don't think it would have been very good. So, anyway, the actual end of the anecdote is pretty boring. I just sort of really vigorously wiped my trousers, and I was just so happy that eventually it worked. It went, you couldn't see it, and everything was fine. But it was a worrying moment for a while, and hopefully this will get me. It's an uncomfortable insight into my life, so hopefully it will give me some more views. But otherwise, I'm not going to get to the stand-up bit today, but that gig went really well. I'm not going to get to stand-up today because, as you can see, it's another absolutely, it's not too bad now, but it's been absolutely terrible here. I hate Edinburgh. No, the weather's just really shit. But the cleaner's coming. The stuff has been left out for her, and I don't want her to walk in on me doing the bit that I've got planned. But what I had planned was, very briefly, because it's already gone on too long. I've been talking a lot about the fact that I'm doing stand-up, but I haven't actually did any of my jokes here. And maybe you are wavering about going to see Jenny's of the Mind and the Megabus 1 p.m. every day at the golf tavern because I don't know what his stand-up's like, but at the same time, I can start doing it. And what I was going to do my routine. I change the routine for every audience, and in the next episode I'm going to do my routine when I have an audience of stoners, complete stoners. I'll take my glasses off because stoners hate nerds, but I'm going to do it. And I've alluded to the odd joke, haven't I? I've said my ISIS joke and my homelessness joke, and those are good jokes. The ISIS joke tends to go okay generally. The homelessness joke tends to divide the audience into stupid and clever. Stupid people get all silent and judgy, whereas clever people love it. But anyway, so the stoner material tomorrow. Got a job interview to prepare for as well today, so I'll let you know how that goes. And thanks guys. Have a good one. Bye.